On a scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you? A 10 is a full-blown panic. I would say a 3 would be you're concerned, a 6 would be you're worried, and a 10 would be you're panicking. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how panicked are you about the Denver Broncos? Today, we're going to talk about the things that we're concerned about, the things that we are worried about, and the things that we are panicking about on a different scale. I'm going to break that down and definitely going to briefly talk about the Los Angeles Chargers in the upcoming game in week 3 and why this game is really important. Guys, thank you to another episode of Orange and Blue Blitz.
Tune in, now it's time to sit. Orange and blue, we never quit. Broncos pride is lit legit. Every week we're bringing grit. Orange and blue, we bring the heat. Podcast grind, it can't be beat. Every play, every stop we meet. Blitz so hard, it's on repeat. My high dreams, we elevate. Break it down, we narrate. From the field to the fan debate. Broncos country, we dominate. We got the passion, we got the drive. Orange and blue keeps us alive. Every tackle, every stride. It's the Blitz where legends thrive.
Morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thanks for coming to another episode of Orange and Blue Blitz, brought to you by the Orange and Blue Network. I'm your host, Isaiah Henderson, also known as the Bronco Gentleman. Welcome in, and today we're going to talk about, we're not going to go too much on the Colts game, but we're going to talk about concerns that we have for the team, things we want to see improve, and then we're going to briefly talk about the Chargers matchup, because we're going to have more of that on Friday. So on a scale of 1 to 10, the question was, how panicked are you? And I would say, before we get into that, I'd say that in the first 2 weeks, the only consistent thing for the Denver Broncos that we have seen across all three phases of the ball is the run game. In week 1, the pass game, the offense was off. In week 2, the offense was much better. In week 1, the defense was good. In week 2, the defense was not. Special teams so far, week 1 and 2, has been costly to us so far and has not been tip-top. And I find that very interesting, and that's a question that's going to pop up is special teams can cost us the game, especially close game like the Colts. But the run game through week 1 and week 2 has been consistently good, week 1 and week 2. So that's a plus. So on the scale of 1 to 10, I'm not worried about that, and I think we're definitely going to lean on that. But in far the offense, I'd say I'm concerned. Last week was a good output, so it took me from worried down to concerned because I'm still concerned because I don't know about the consistency of this offense. Like I said, the run game has been consistent, which has also brought me down from worried to concern. Excuse me, but I don't think the question is the pass game going to be as consistent? Bo had 1 turnover. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage, so it kind of sailed. And it seems like he's gotten, the turnover ratio down, didn't take a sack, not a QB hit, so that's good on the offensive line. The offensive line has been consistently good. The run game has been consistently good. And it seems like Sean Payton and Broncos country, and the fans included, have all been vindicated and proven right about that. That the run block win rate last year was number 1 in the NFL, according to ESPN. And what we thought was maybe if you change the running backs, that we'll see a better run game. And we didn't get to see it necessarily in the preseason, but we've definitely seen it in the first 2 weeks of this season. Week 1 against the Titans, RJ Harvey had that huge 50-yard run. J.K. Dobbins finished it off with a 20-yard touchdown. We had over 100 rushing yards that game. This past week, I believe we also had over 100 rushing yards total. For the team, J.K. Dobbins had 89. He had 2 10-yard runs, probably the first run of the game. Ben Powers was ranked like the number 2 run blocking interior offensive lineman in the NFL. So he had an excellent game, definitely pulled him a lot more. Outside zone scheme looked really well. Wattenberg had some good tape on film, actually. He had some good tape on film this game. And so we're seeing that definitely this unit is a run grading mauling, and they can get on you and put up some yards, especially with the two backs. We didn't see a lot of RJ Harvey this past week, and that's fine because J.K. Dobbins was the hot hand, and that's okay. We did see him out the backfield catch a nice, 10 to 15-yard catch out the backfield. That looked like a Sean Payton play. The Colts defense completely drifted back, and the running back caught the ball at 8 yards down the field, and then picked up 6 to 7 afterwards. And so that's what we're looking for. And so Harvey had a good receiving catch with that. So I was definitely encouraged by the running backs in this past game, and that's definitely been a consistent. And so, like I said, Sean Payton and Broncos country had been vindicated and definitely the offensive line vindicated because once again, the offensive line going into week 3 is one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. It's still the best pass protecting offensive line in the NFL. And run blocking as well, because I mean we're getting some yards, and that's really, really encouraging. And so last week we kind of got to see what this offense can look like when you have a good run offense and a good pass offense. And so 3 touchdowns, 1 interception for Bo Nix, 4 touchdowns. But and then where the concern comes from is my concern for the defense is I would say about a 7. Appreciate the thumbs up. I would say about a 7. So definitely more than worried because, a concern is 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. A concern is 3, worry is 6, panic is 10. So I'm at a 7 with the defense. The reason why I say that is because the Colts added players that they didn't have last year, and we added players that we didn't have last year. And we were missing one major player, but for the most part, Alex Singleton, a previous starter, was back. He was supposed to be a difference maker. Talanoa Hufanga is always a difference maker, but his difference was limited. Same pass rush, and so same DBs, including Jahdae Barron, and our defense got absolutely torn apart. We did have 1 sack. We have a lot of pressures. And our defense got torn apart. And we're going into a game against where if you give him time, he'll tear you apart. And I'm not worried about the pressures and the sacks. I know we can do that. I'm not worried about the coverage either. But what I am worried about is running backs out the backfield and tight ends. And if you're watching film on the Broncos defense, depending on who the starters are, you're looking at it and say, hey, if my offense has a lot of motions, if I can move the running back or I can move the tight end, I can tear this. I can tear the middle of the field apart. I can just move the safety and I can capitalize on their blitzes and their man coverages and just tear the defense apart. And so the reason why, and so thinking that you can improve week after week is fine, but you're not going to beat the Chargers like that. We've got the Chargers, we have the Bengals, and we have the Eagles. Now, Broncos catch a break. We don't like injuries here, but Khalil Mack's not there, so maybe their defense will take a step back. But hey, so did Colts. The Colts didn't have their number 1 pass rusher, and the Colts didn't have 2 of their DBs, and they still won the game. But that's a lack of discipline. That's coaching as well. Defense, there was huge miscommunications. The linebackers were slow, running and out of the way, lack of communication. It was just bad, and it was just ugly. But so if you're Jim Harbaugh, you're going to move Lab McConkey around. You're going to try and get him in the slot. You're going to try and keep him away from Pastor Tan. You're going to try and get a safety on him, a linebacker. You're going to try, especially when the linebackers are in there and you're in the zone. Justin Herbert's just going to try and sit back and tear you apart and pick on your linebackers. And so ultimately, I'm at a 7 because I think if Dre Greenlaw practices this week, or if he plays this week, is going to determine whether or not we win this game, in my honest opinion. Down Khalil Mack and Rashawn Slater, run game good. No, the offense and defense together have not been consistent enough through the first 2 weeks for me to have enough confidence that we can go in with the same crew we had last week lose and beat the Chargers, who are better than the Colts. And so maybe we clean up some penalties. Adam Troutman doesn't have a face mask. J.K. Dobbins doesn't have a delayed game. Will Lutz hits the field goal. Sean Payton doesn't call a play to try and block it for a 60-yarder. Maybe these things change and we beat the Colts. But if those things change, do we beat the Chargers? And Shai came in the comments earlier, and the first thing he said was, hey, I think we lose to the Chargers. And my fear was that if we didn't have momentum going in a away game against the Chargers and they were up 2-0, if they win this week, they are in firm control of the division. And we don't want that because we want them to win the division. We just hate it when everybody else is just not us. And this is, tough sledding. And so that last week, and especially, the Colts look like they're going to win their division. But let's say the Texans hit on or the Jaguars are good. If the Colts fall behind in their second, they'll own the tiebreaker for us, which last year we owned the tiebreaker. This year they own the tiebreaker. So these things start to matter at the end. At this point, the best thing is just to hope the Colts win the AFC South, which it looks like when they get healthy, they're going to win the AFC South because the Texans just do not have it. The offensive line is absolutely horrible. So the Texans just do not have it. Excuse me. And it looks like the Jaguars will be better than the Texans as well. So that defense is something I'm worried about. And in regards to special teams, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at an 8 for the special teams. So a 3 for the offense, a 7 for the defense. And regarding the defense, I've heard a lot of people say, hey, guys, hinder your expectations for the return of Dre Greenlaw. He has only played a few games in a couple of years. He's only here to stop the run. He's not good in man coverage against running backs and tight ends. I think that's an awful attitude to have because we know he's better than any linebacker we have. We know he patrols the middle. And I believe that Dre Greenlaw at 65, 70% is better than Alex Singleton at 95, 100%. Alex just didn't look like not look like he has it anymore. And maybe Sternad should take his spot when Greenlaw comes back. But I think Greenlaw being in there is going to be a difference maker. For maybe he doesn't play all the snaps, but for the snaps he does play, he will be a difference maker. So I think we should be hopeful. We're definitely waiting in anticipation for that injury report to come out. Is he limited? Is he full? Limited would be good. We need him for this game. Like I said earlier, I don't think we win the game without Dre Greenlaw. And unfortunately, I guess it might be a break for the Broncos that we would go into Cincinnati. We played Cincinnati at home with a backup quarterback at 1-2. And we can get that win. But then we got to go to Philly. So we got to come together as a team. And Bronco Rob says, hey, Bronco, gentlemen, go Broncos. I'm still a believer. Yeah, I'm a believer. But like Shai says, I'm not hitting the panic button just yet. I'm at an 8. I'm not at a 10, but I'm at an 8. So I think that it's going to be interesting, seeing this injury report. I don't have my I don't even have my phone, so I can't check if the injury report popped up. Yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting. So yeah, that's my scale on a 1 to 10. I'm not in a full blown panic about any 3 phases. I'm more worried about special teams. Marvin Mims muffed it. Big kick return before the half. Missed field goal by Will Lutz this week. Penalty on the last play of the game gave the Colts an opportunity to win the game because they had missed it. So, definitely taking a huge step back from last year. I mean, Ben Cutwiga had some mistakes, but we were still top 10 special teams. We went from number 2 to number 7 last year. Still top 10, but maybe we should have stayed, not looking so far. Bronco Rob says penalties need to be cleaned up immediately. Yeah, definitely some discipline issues. Definitely some discipline issues. Adam Troutman's face mask, and then J.K. Dobbins' delayed game penalty pushed us back, which made the field goal harder for Will Lutz to kick, and he missed it. Vice versa. Colts drive down, kick a field goal. We get a penalty for leverage, whatever. And then they get another chance and hit it. So we can't afford these penalties. These are drive killers. So shout out Garrett Bowles real quick. He had no pressures, no sacks. He's one of the best tackles in the NFL last week, so he's getting better and better, and I love that for him. I'm hoping he's gets a Pro Bowl nod or another Pro Bowl nod or definitely an All-Pro nod. Get this guy some hardware. He deserves it. He definitely deserves it. But yeah, that's what we're looking at so far with the Broncos. So far. So it was definitely a disappointing loss. And now we've got a tougher team. It's an away game. They've got the momentum. They're a pass team now. They were a run team. I wouldn't be surprised if Jim Harbaugh decided, hey, we're going to run the ball. But, Justin Herbert can do both. And the Chargers defense is the Broncos have the number 2 red zone defense in the NFL. Chargers have the number 1. So, once again, but they have lost Khalil Mack, so we'll see. Definitely have to run the ball. We say it every week. Definitely successful. J.K. Dobbins looks like he's picking up momentum. He's got vision. He's got good veteran presence. And so I definitely want to see RJ Harvey. Sean Payton went with the hot hand. J.K. Dobbins said he came in. He's like, they're like, oh, Sean Payton wants to do a split backfield. And J.K. Dobbins was like, nah, I don't know about that. And so far, he's really, been a big help to the team. And he's definitely showing it. And, he's like, feed me. And that penalty, it won't happen again. I guarantee it won't happen again. But he's been a really big addition, and he's as good as advertised. He's definitely been as good as advertised. So it's pretty good that 2 offseason additions have been good as advertised. Talanoa Hufanga and J.K. Dobbins. He's definitely helped this run game. I want to see more of RJ Harvey. Not because our J.K. Dobbins hasn't been doing well, and I want to see some screens. I want to see some screens. I haven't seen many screens thrown to RJ Harvey. I want to see some of those. Definitely want to see some more run plays for RJ Harvey. Not because I don't want to take any away from Dobbins, because he's been absolutely elite. But I want to see some explosive runs from RJ Harvey. Really hit that 1-2 punch between the two of those and really wear down defenses. And I think. I don't know whether the thing about the run game is coincidentally it's taking Evan Ingram off the field. And so Adam Troutman's beginning majority of the percentage of snaps as for the tight end because the run game is successful. So Evan Ingram just isn't in on those run plays. And then you have play action where you throw it to Troutman. Troutman's on a or he's in line blocking, or he's on a delay and release, or he's on a short drag across the field, short mesh route. And so I think that that's the reason why Evan Ingram hasn't been getting snaps. And when he does get in the game, they're not really designed for him. So he's not really getting those joker snaps. And I'm curious to see if the more they look at Troy Franklin, does Sean Payton decide, hey, because, we heard the first week, hey, don't be so aggressive, smarter plays, run the ball more. And we saw that happen with week 2. And we saw success moving down the field and scoring touchdowns, moving the ball down the field. I wonder if now we're getting Evan Ingram a little bit more involved, if that's what's going to be Sean Payton's going to think. Or is it Evan Ingram more of the Marvin Mims at the last season where when you start finally designing plays for him, does the offense then explode? And so I think that's good. Bronco Rob says, I'm concerned about Sutton's role. I'm not. And people are like, well, we're paying him. I think paying what we're Sutton to do is excellent. I think what you want to see is Troy Franklin have the most snaps as a wide receiver, lead the team in touchdowns, receiving touchdowns, and receiving yards. That's exactly what you want from your year two receiver with your year two quarterback that played at college together. That's exactly what you want. Courtland Sutton's time is going to come. When teams begin to focus on Troy Franklin more, that's going to open one-on-ones more with Courtland Sutton. When the safety has to come down and guard Evan Ingram one-on-one, like Derwin James may have to take Evan Ingram one-on-one, maybe that's going to give some back shoulder throws to Courtland Sutton. One thing that we didn't talk about either was when Pat Bryant came in the game, it was design throws to him, slants, dig routes on third down, and he caught them both, and got first downs on both. That's excellent to see. That's really, really excellent to see. So there are some good takeaways from this receiving core and this offense. And there's Evan Ingram's on. Maybe it was they didn't want to give him too much because with the calf stuff, it happened. He was limited, then he was full. But now he's healthy again, so maybe they're going to get him involved more, and he's always there. And so all it takes is, and one thing that was mentioned was, and it showed in the preseason, was Evan Ingram had the most chemistry with Jarrett Stidham. I think that certain quarterbacks drift to tight ends, and certain quarterbacks drift to receivers. And so, Bo Nix had Terrence Ferguson, and he definitely would throw the ball to the tight end. And I think a part of it is last year, he didn't have a tight end, or he got so used to not looking to the tight end and looking at receivers that it's kind of ingrained in him to look to the receivers. That was good for Courtland Sutton, 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's good for Troy Franklin so far this year. And I think it has to, maybe Davis Webb and Davis Webb gets in his ear. Hey, look at the tight end. Look at the tight end. Hey, Evan Ingram's open on this. Go start looking at Evan Ingram. And Sean Payton needs to start designing them more so that trust, not that they don't trust each other, but that camaraderie and that chemistry gets built. Because you can see the chemistry between Troy Franklin and Bo Nix is hit. Courtland Sutton last year. And so now it's time to, there was a nice touchdown for the Marvin Mims. Beautiful. You see it with Pat Bryant on these third downs. Now it's time to get it with Evan Ingram and the backs out the backfoot a little bit more. And you're starting to see that a little bit more. So the offense hasn't fully opened up. You've really got the tight end that needs to be incorporated. You've got the running backs out the backfield that need to be incorporated as well that have not been. And so that's what we're missing. And maybe Bo Nix is, if Bo Nix is not used to looking at the tight end or having a tight end to look to. But there's that conundrum. Maybe you need to tight end set, put his hand on the ground. The run game is successful. Use him on more run plays as well. So to get better, you got to get better. And so, throw him in that, maybe you don't want to get him hurt too much. But yeah, he can definitely block some more. He's done it. But as I said before, Jarrett Stidham had that camaraderie with Evan Ingram, the more veteran in practice. And then in the preseason game, it immediately showed with the 58-yard reception. He threw it to Evan Ingram. And because of Jarrett Stidham's chemistry with Evan Ingram, we now know, we got a snapshot of what Evan Ingram can really do. We haven't seen that. We definitely haven't seen that. We definitely want to see more of that. But it seems like, even when Evan Ingram is on the play, Troy Franklin's coming open right behind him. So we want to get it to Evan Ingram, but Troy Franklin's getting open. He's catching deep balls. Marvin Mims is catching deep balls. He's getting open on man coverage. And so, I see why Bronco Rob said I'm concerned about Courtland's role. I'm not. I'm really not. Outside of T. Higgins, Courtland Sutton, outside of T. Higgins and maybe Jamison Williams, Courtland Sutton may be one of the best if he becomes a wide receiver two in the NFL. Look how much T. Higgins is getting paid as a wide receiver two. Look how much Jamison Williams is getting paid as a wide receiver two. And so if our wide receiver one is on a rookie contract, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I want to see Courtland Sutton get a little bit more involved. But, David Youngkin says Sean will not let one player be the number one wide receiver. He wants Bo to throw the ball around to 8 to 9 players. And he's done that. He did that this past week. He did that in the first 2 weeks. I didn't think he did that 14 times last year. There's 3 games where he didn't throw it to 7 or more receivers. And so that's definitely Sean Payton's offense, whoever's the open man. I think Michael Thomas just may have been an anomaly in Sean Payton's offense because he didn't have that with his 06 team and the team that won the Super Bowl. He just had that with Michael Thomas. And so I think our offense in the fourth quarter, here's the thing. Our offense in the fourth quarter didn't sputter. Or it's not that we couldn't move the ball against the Colts. It's that it was a lack of discipline. So in the fourth quarter, if you look at it, it was penalty pushed us back that cost us 3 points. It was just penalties. And so we've got to be more disciplined in the end. And this is a huge game. And Shai came in early and he says he got some enthusiasm. That kind of gives me hope. He says, I think the Broncos defense will come out angry. I like that, Shai. Here's my thing, bud. To me, it depends on I'd be surprised if we won and Drake Greenlaw didn't play. Because with the Chargers offense, Jim Harbaugh could pull. And we know our running backs aren't good with pulling guards. They get beat up 4, 5, 6 yards down the field. Look at the Ravens. Look at the Bills. Chargers last 2 games we played them. And then they also can motion and throw the ball behind them, with Lam McConkey and things like that. And so look at the last couple times we played them and the Colts. So I don't have confidence in this linebacker core. I think what last game showed is everyone can come out angry. The secondary wasn't bad. D-line wasn't bad. But with those linebackers, when your linebackers are that bad, it exposes a lot. And that's scary. And teams are watching film on that. Broncos are winning the Chargers because of lack of consistency. Yeah. We just don't know. Is the defense going to be good this game and the offense going to be bad? Is the offense going to be good again, but the defense is going to be bad again? Or is this a game where they put it all together? We just don't know. And that's where lack of confidence comes from. Last year was a special teams blunder that gave them momentum. So it's these constant special teams blunders at the end of halves and at the end of games that cost us. All right, guys, we are closing out today's episode of Orange and Blue Blitz. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys like this video as you guys have done already. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We're on the path to 539, and when we hit 539, that will trigger a Bo Nix jersey giveaway. So make sure you are subscribed to us on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at Bronco Gentleman. Follow us on Facebook or anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. And guys, today is Wednesday, so that means we have 3 shows. We have mine. We have Doc and JT Mile High Symposium at 2:30 this afternoon. And then later on, we have Broncos Talk at 6 p.m. So guys, make sure you guys hit that notification bell because you got to keep your phone on you because we're coming in hot and heavy and fast. And there's going to be a lot of news spewing at you like a water hose, and you're not going to want to miss it. So make sure you hit that notification bell. I'm going to give you guys a mile high salute. I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys Friday where we're going to go over the Chargers game, what the stats look like, what we're going to look for, what players are going to be important, and more updates on the injury report. Mile high salute to you guys. I love you all.